So we are pretty deep at this point into NFL training camp. Preseason games are now beginning to start. So today I wanted to go over the top rookie performers in training camp this offseason, with the first performer being Cam Ward, the #1 overall pick to the Tennessee Titans. While it has been reported there's been some ups and downs, it was a slow beginning of camp for Cam Ward. We've seen multiple clips across social media, really the entire offseason program, of him making some fairly high-level throws in the pocket. The thing about Cam Ward that I said a ton during the draft process is we know that he can make the incredible plays off script, and we also saw those in a couple of scrimmages that the Titans had. But I needed to see him take that next step as a pocket passer and actually be able to go through reads and stay in the confines of the pocket, because that is a huge thing if you are going to become a top echelon quarterback in the NFL. And the early reviews and what we've seen from Ward so far is that it does seem like that is something that he's improved on and getting a little bit more comfortable with. And that bodes well for success, not only as a rookie, but as he continues to even grow more with that element of his game heading into the future. The biggest thing, though, that I would be very happy about if I was a Titans fan is simply the leadership and the culture that Ward is bringing with him from the University of Miami. You can bring a very talented quarterback onto your roster, but if he's not going to hold players accountable, he's not going to set the standard each and every day, it's very hard for him to become the long-term franchise guy. So that has been a huge plus and something that we've seen from Cam Ward. Even just going in press conferences and flat out saying, our offense has been mid so far and it starts with me. I have to do better. I think things like that are a very good sign for what Ward has already brought to this Titans team. I still don't think they're going to be a great team this year. Need a few more weapons on the outside. Calvin Ridley as your top wideout is not great in 2025, but I definitely think Ward will have the Titans be more competitive than they were last year and definitely showcase himself as the quarterback of the future for the team in Tennessee. Now, our second really good performer really shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. It's Abdul Carter of the New York Giants, and he was really seen as an elite prospect. I would say the only flaw that he had was the foot injury that appeared really late into the draft process, but that has not been an issue at all so far, and Carter just looks like he's going to be the next premier pass rusher at the next level. Talking about the likes of like the Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, like he's going to be one of those guys in just a couple of years. He's tossed 300-pound linemen to the side with ease. He showcased a very nice spin move and just some nice pass rush moves that we did see as well at Penn State. And I'm really bullish on what he can do as a rookie as well. He is going to be my defensive rookie of the year pick. And I know the Giants' schedule is so hard next year, and Russell Wilson is going to be their starting quarterback. But man, their defensive line is so good. I just feel like they could single-handedly win a few games for the Giants next season because they just have so many premier players. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and then now you add in Abdul Carter to that mix. It's insane. But Carter was already viewed as one of the least risky picks in the draft, and so far in camp, he has really showcased that so far. He's been pretty incredible. And now to offensive weapons, we have our first pure wide receiver in Tetairoa McMillan of the Carolina Panthers. He's been getting a ton of hype so far in camp for his contested catch ability. We saw him do it a ton at Arizona, but him being able to do it against NFL corners is really nice to see. And Bryce Young having a target like that where you can just throw the ball up to him in the end zone and he's just going to moss the cornerback, come down with it, is really, really big for their offense, especially inside the red zone. The big thing that McMillan needed to develop coming into the NFL was his route running ability, and you can see from a lot of the social media clips that that's been a huge point of emphasis for the coaching staff of the Panthers. And honestly, it has been better than I expected early on. He's been able to beat corners down the field fairly consistently, which has been nice to see. And just some smooth out routes and slant routes, for example. He may not have a super diverse route tree early on, but if he can run an out, a slant route, and then a go ball, and then also just be a guy that catches fades in the end zone, I think that still could be a valuable weapon for the Panthers this upcoming season and going into the future. I think whether you're playing a redraft or even dynasty fantasy football, McMillan is a guy to look at really early on. The Panthers have been looking for a true X #1 receiver for a while now. If you remember, the Panthers spent a first-round pick on Xavier Legette last season, and he wasn't great as a rookie. I think he's better suited to be in that #2 or #3 role. So the bulk of targets is going to go to McMillan. Bryce Young and him already have a good connection and relationship. We've seen them even score in joint practices against the Cleveland Browns. And I honestly would be surprised if he didn't have over 1,000 yards as a rookie and emerge as one of the best receivers in the league in a couple of years. He's got the size, contested catch ability, and he's still working on that route running, but if he continues to improve that, I think he's going to be electric. And our next performer just makes me shake my head because I don't know how the Kansas City Chiefs got him with the number 32 pick in the draft. And yes, I'm talking about Josh Simmons. It seems like the Chiefs have hit home run, and now they have their star-studded left tackle moving forward, and to be able to get that at the end of the first round is truly unbelievable. I said it at the time, and I still believe it. If he was not recovering from his PCL injury, I do think he probably would have been a top 10 pick, because you do not find premium tackles very easily. But because of that injury, he fell, the Chiefs got him, and he seems to be fully recovered and still as good as he was for Ohio State. There's been a lot of clips of him surfacing in one-on-one drills where he's just manhandling his opponent with kind of ease. We already knew about his size. He's 6'5", 311 pounds, but his pure strength and even mobility off of that knee injury has been really impressive. And we saw the Chiefs' offensive line last year was a huge reason why they could not win the Super Bowl and win their third in a row. And the last time the Chiefs had an offensive line issue against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 2021 Super Bowl, Brett Veach and Andy Reid rebuilt the entire offensive line in one offseason, and I think they probably did it again. It does seem like Simmons is going to get the Week 1 start against the Los Angeles Chargers, and now it's about how good he can be from the start in real game action. Going from college to the NFL as an offensive lineman is one of the hardest adjustments out of any position in the league, but I'm sure blocking for Patrick Mahomes and having Andy Reid as your head coach makes that adjustment a little bit easier. I don't want to jump the gun and say the Chiefs just found themselves their next all-pro offensive lineman, but I'd be lying to you if I said it's not trending in that direction. And now our first running back on this list is TreVeyon Henderson of the New England Patriots, and he has been an absolute stud so far in New England. Coming out of Ohio State, he was already seen as the best pass blocking running back in the draft. You can also argue he was the most elusive and had the greatest long speed in the draft as well. But those two areas of his game is not even what's making me super excited about what he can do in the NFL so far. It has been his receiving ability and his connection with Drake May. The Patriots have been utilizing him as like a slot receiver at times, lining him up out wide and just throwing normal routes to him. And he's pretty sure-handed. I don't think he's dropped a pass. He's also done a couple of over-the-shoulder catches like a normal receiver would. And for the Patriots, they just need more weapons and players on offense because it was absolutely dreadful last season. I think Henderson could have a monstrous season in this offense. And I know the Patriots have Ramondre Stevenson as maybe their running back one to start this season, but Henderson is still going to get so many targets and passes because the Patriots really have Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, and then not really much else currently. So Henderson could be their change of pace back, but then also maybe have 50 catches as a running back this season. I think that is a very feasible likelihood for how he can produce in his first NFL season. And if you combine all the elements of him being a great pass blocker, he's got really good speed and elusiveness to his game, and now he's going to be a great receiving back in the league as well, Henderson might emerge as one of the most complete running backs in the entire sport. I was a big fan of the selection when the Patriots got him in the second round, and with Stevenson's fumbling issues, I think it's only a matter of time before Henderson completely takes over that backfield. And my final top performer for this video is Will Johnson of the Arizona Cardinals, another second round pick. He was my top pure cornerback in this draft. He solely fell to the second round due to his medicals. I guess there was some mysterious knee injury that surfaced during the draft process. And to be fair, his last couple of seasons in Michigan, he was banged up pretty often, so that was a concern going into the process to begin with. But when he is on the field, he's a blue chip player, and it looks like so far the Cardinals might have found themselves a future star cornerback in the second round. The first thing that jumps off the screen is his physicality, just pressing up receivers, throwing them off their spot, and then even just his PBUs, just breaking up passes. Him and Marvin Harrison have been going back and forth with each other all camp, and it's been really fun to see the iron kind of sharpen iron. The Cardinals have been looking for a while now to find a true shutdown cornerback one, and with the early reviews of Johnson being able to potentially be that for Arizona, and you put him in Jonathan Gannon's defense, with a pass rush, they got a lot of resources this offseason with Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell, Walter Nolan, their first round pick. With all these factors combining into one, I think this can make the Cardinals defense one of the best in the league. But those are 6 players that I've seen time and time again on social media as they're performing really well for their teams this summer. Let me know in the comment section below if I overlooked any rookies so far, and I can make a part 2 to this video. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, as only 1.4% of you who watch these videos are subscribed, which is insane. But drop a like in the video if you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.